Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, March 12, 2026, 6 p.m. I'd like to invite Robert Jones forward, provide our invocation, and lead us in our pledge. If everyone will stand, if able.
Let us pray. Wise and loving one, we gather today as representatives of our community. We ask for your wisdom, Lord, to govern amid the conflicts, interests, and issues of our times. Grant us the clarity to know the needs of our community and the strength to make decisions that benefits us all. May our discussions be marked by respect, by decisions by justice, and our actions by commitment to the common good. Lord, we thank you for our city and all of those that live and work here. We ask for your divine wisdom to guide our leaders and families. May we be open to one another's ideas, respectful of differences, and focused on what unites us. Lord God, help us to build bridges and strive for a unified vision for a city that cares and empowers its people on every level. And gracious Father, look with love on the people of this community and keep us safe in your service. Guide the members of this council and help them work together for the good of all. Bless our deliberations today and lead us towards the best outcome for our citizens. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Here.
Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Ezell,
Here.
Councilmember Witt,
Here.
Interim City Manager Williams, City Attorney Litchford.
Here. All right. The next item on our agenda is the Milestone Awards. This is where we recognize milestone anniversaries for employees that work at our great city. We like to recognize them, provide them with a certificate, a check for their milestone service, and a pin. So for the month of February, we had Jackson Albright, 5 years. We had Myra Miracle, 10 years. Diane Qualls, 15 years. And Eric Bowen, 30 years. So we want to recognize those four from the month of February and appreciate their service as well as all service for all our employees that dedicate to our community and to our citizens. So thank you. The next item we will move to is the presentation of the fiscal year 2024-2025 audit by Brock Oliver, HHM CPAs. Yes, sir.
Good evening, and thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to work with the City of East Ridge. 2025 audit results. My name is Brock Oliver. I'm a partner with HHM CPAs here in Chattanooga. Garrett Williams, who serves as our audit lead, is unable to join us this evening as he had a conflict, but Joel, who serves as our supervisor on the audit, has joined me this evening, and he's here seated in the audience this evening. But should have a copy of the presentation that we have put together, just briefly highlighting the things discussed with you all this evening. We want to talk about the scope of services that were provided to the City of East Ridge, the audit results, our required communications, and just brief financial highlights that are worth noting. So our scope of services include the financial statement audit for the City of East Ridge and also the single audit, which a single audit is the worst name, I think, for the audit, but it's basically a compliance audit of the federal awards that the city receives. So we issue an opinion on the compliance and the handling of those monies. So I like to start by explaining what an audit is, and that's not to insult anyone's intelligence, but I feel like that term gets used loosely in today's society of what an audit actually is. We are not the OMB, we're not the FBI, we're not the IRS. We're not here to look at every single transaction that the city has. We are contracted with the city through the state to issue an opinion on the financial statements and whether those are free of material misstatement as of a given point in time. And so how we do that is through a risk-based approach. We spend quite a bit of time. In fact, we spent roughly 400 hours on the audit this year of both the financial statements and the single audit. And so we take a risk-based approach where we look at the internal controls of the organization, make sure there's proper segregation of duties. We spend quite a bit of time on revenue recognition, making sure things are properly classified in the right period. We spend a lot of time on capital assets. That's the largest item on the balance sheet for the city, making sure that additions and disposals are properly captured throughout the year. And then obviously we spend a lot of time on grant compliance. The city receives, I think, 3 federal awards. Most of that is the ARPA monies that were dispersed by the federal government during COVID. Roughly $1 million of that is what we audit. So the financial statement audit results for this year, we are pleased to issue a unmodified opinion, which is a clean audit opinion for the city. That's the highest level of assurance that we can provide as auditors. We do have 2 findings related to internal controls. Those are findings 2025-01 and 02. Those are reporting findings, where basically those were repeat findings of 2024 reconciliation and interfund activity. We had to spend some time with management to get those cleaned up that weren't fully cleaned up in 2025. But we've got those corrected now. Management has put a corrective action plan in place to have that fully corrected for FY26 when audit time comes around. On the single audit side, as I mentioned, the major program that we tested was the ALN 21027, which is the ARPA funds. Again, unmodified opinion, the highest level of assurance that we can provide, and we have no findings for the current year or prior year related to the federal awards. Our required communications that the standards require us to communicate to you all as part of governance under SAS 114. Overall, there were changes in accounting policies, GASB 101 and 102. Those were related to compensated absences. This had a small immaterial difference in the disclosures in the financial statements. No consultations with other accountants. There was no fraud or significant matters identified or brought to our attention during the audit. There were no disagreements or difficulties with management. Estimates are reasonable. And then uncorrected misstatements proposed are deemed immaterial to the financial statements as a whole. And then lastly, we have the opportunity to work with a lot of municipalities throughout the state. And so what we look at as a benchmark is the general fund and how that compares to the benchmark. So if we look at your general fund as of June 30, 2025, and compare that to total expenditures, the general fund balance for FY 2025 June 30 was 13.7. Look at total expenditures, we're roughly 27.6 million. If we look at that as a ratio of about 39% of the unassigned fund balance to current year expenditures, that's roughly five months. If something were catastrophic were to happen, you could fund operating expenses for 5 months. As a general benchmark, we look for 4 to 6 months, so you're right in the middle of that bench. So healthy general fund as far as we're concerned. So that is all that we wanted to cover. And I'll open the floor to any questions that you all may have.
Council, do you have any questions?
The 2025 reconciliations that you said that we have to have a management improvement plan on that. This is the first I've heard of this in previous audit reviews. Do you find our plan to move forward on these reconciliations favorable?
Yes, yes, yes. So it was a finding in 2024 to get things cleaned up for the audit that were being corrected in 2025 but not fully corrected. So we had to report that as a repeat finding. But management has put in internal controls in place to fix that so it would not reoccur in 2026.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, I have one. So I'm noticing here that your total expenditures, it says including transfers, 27,637,576. And this may be a question more for Diane than it is you. I assuming that is including the Board of Region transfer, which is a pass-through. So our total expenditures at the city itself, excluding Board of Region, is $6.2 million less than that. So technically, our fund balance, unassigned fund balance, could be a little bit larger than 5 months. That's
Correct.
indicated in this report.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to make sure. I'm pulling my budget from last year and checking that
Yep.
for this year. Okay. Any other questions? See none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it
Thank you,
very
Mr.
much
Oliver.
for your work. All right, we'll move to the next item, which is the approval of the agenda, which is the approval of the minutes for the February 26, 2026 meeting, and also approval of the minutes for the February 5th, 2026 meeting. March 5th, 2026 meeting. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review those minutes. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do you have any discussion or corrections? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Consent agenda approved. We'll move to item 5, communications with citizens. This is an opportunity for a citizen to come forward and address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades. I don't think anyone is actually signed in, but if there's anyone in attendance who would like to come and address the council, now is your opportunity. You'll have up to 5 minutes. I don't see anyone, so we'll move to communications from council members. I'll start on this side. Councilmember Ezell.
I have nothing.
Councilmember Witt.
I would like to wish Jackie Cagle and Donna a happy anniversary.
Awesome. Happy anniversary.
I wasn't gonna say how many, Donna.
Anything else?
Thank you.
It was an arranged marriage, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Tyler.
Nothing for me, Mayor.
Councilmember Cagle, okay. All right, so I always want to talk about Parks and Rec and Library. So really, I don't have a lot of upcoming signups and stuff like that, but we're full force now. I saw, we had opening day and they kicked off another exciting season of the East Ridge Parks and Rec. We had soccer signups, flag football, spring softball, spring baseball, t-ball, cheerleading. It is now full force, so we're excited to see that and have everyone participating in it. With the library, we've got a few things I want to mention. The Little Sprouts Gardening Club meets the second and fourth Wednesdays from March through July 11 to 12. That's ages 5 to 11. And then Nimble Thimbles is Thursday the 26th from 4 to 5. So that's where they turn soft wool into charming 3D Easter creations while learning to core skills of needle felting. Both of those are free, but you can call to register 423-867-7323. And then the book club meets the second Saturday of every month from 11 to 12. This month's book is Sick Puppy by Carl Heisen. And I believe that is all I have. So I'll hand it over to Interim City Manager Williams.
Yes, Mayor. I have noticed that the Camping World is taking possession of steel for the new building. Also the demolition at Mike Smith and Ringer Road for the new coffee shop. Of course, that's going really well. The last two weeks that I've been in the position have been really good. I don't think we've had any major issues across the city. So everything seems to be going as planned and as well as it could be right now.
You just jinxed yourself.
Knock on wood.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move to item 8, old business, ordinance number 1239.
In order to the East Ridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 1408 Sanheise Drive, tax map number 169K-J-009 from C2 General Commercial District to R2 Residential Duplex District.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Howell?
Not sure if you wanted me to say anything, Mayor. Sorry about that.
No, no worries. Yeah, if you just want to kind of recap us, this is the second and final reading.
That is correct. So once again, Mayor and Council, Alan Jones has requested to rezone the property at 1408 Sanheise from C2 General Commercial District to R2 Residential Duplex District. This will be to construct a duplex approximately 1,200 square feet per unit. East Ridge Planning Commission did approve the request and recommended approval of the rezoning. At one of the previous meetings, City Council requested a stormwater assessment. ACE Engineering has completed that analysis and determined that the existing stormwater infrastructure can adequately accommodate the additional runoff from proposed development.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1239.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1239.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
Did we by chance get the drains cleaned out? Last we talked about it, they were stopped up and that was causing the flooding in the neighbor on the same side of the street along with the neighbor across the street. Did we get that straightened out?
Those, I think, Jeff Sykes with ACE Engineering touched on that a little bit. A couple of those are on private property, I do believe. I can get with Chris Vaughn after the meeting tomorrow. We discuss further see if any of those storm drainage needs cleaned out.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
No.
Councilmember Ezell?
No.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Ordinance number 1239 approved, second and final reading. We'll move to item B, ordinance number 1242.
In order to the East Ridge City Council setting the compensation of the city court clerk in accordance with Title III, Chapter 5, Section 3-504.
Thank you, sir. This is the second and final reading of an amended, do you want to brief us on this a bit?
Members of the council, you may remember that there was a second reading 4 weeks ago and of a salary increase to $70,000. There was discussion about the benefit package available to this position. And if you remember correctly, there were some the terms compensation and the way it's written in the ordinance. Ultimately, what I suggested and you all did was it's all part of the compensation. And so when we had an amendment to include the option for the employee to opt into the health care benefits available to other full-time members of this full-time employees of the city, and that it would be at a cost consistent with what the other employees paid that are full-time. That amendment passed, and so tonight there'll be two approvals that would have to occur to finalize the compensation for the upcoming election that would be then established for the next term of this position. Right now you're voting on the amendment on second reading, which is to provide benefits of consistent with these other full-time employees, and this would be second reading.
Thank you, sir. And the next item is to discuss the other piece of that was debated during the compensation of the court clerk, and that was the elected officials' eligibility. But back to this one. So I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1242.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1242.
Hold on.
Okay.
This is to approve on second reading the amendment.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Then we'll approve it on second reading as amended. I just want to make sure. I may have messed up. This is the second reading for
The
ordinance 1242 for the amendment portion.
So
first.
do I need to say I want to approve the amendment for ordinance number 1242?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The amendment.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler for the amendment, second reading for the amendment. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Yes,
Read
sir.
the amendment. What was the amendment?
Well, the underlying motion that passed first reading was for a $70,000 salary. The discussion was, do we want to later add benefits? And I said, well, under the ordinance, it's the position's compensation. And so there was an amendment to add benefits, full benefit, or benefits consistent with all other full-time employees of the city that would also be for the same amount that full-time employees pay. And that would be an amendment to the compensation for the city court clerk.
Just the court clerk.
Yes.
Correct. So the amendment was for the, benefits, for the.
This is
health
for,
ins-
this is to add benefits consistent
yes.
with other
To
full-time
the
employees
already.
to the compensation
to the
of this
compensation.
position.
So this is to approve that amendment, and then we'll then, as to your point, then we'll approve as amended.
Yes.
Any other questions, sir?
Just said you're thinking.
Okay. All right. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich, for the amendment.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
No.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. So now we will then entertain a motion for ordinance number 1242 as amended.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1242 as amended.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir. This next item that we got on the agenda, if this goes on the referendum, then it's voted that the package is not to be accepted. Does that come off, or does that stay on just for the court clerk?
The portion related to section 8C relates only to city council members. It would not impact the city court clerk. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, that answered the question this time, for now. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance number 1242 approved as amended. We'll move to item C, discussion of removal of elected officials' eligibility to participate in certain city benefit programs under resolution number 2340.
All right.
Sorry, I read it for you.
That's right. Mayor, members of the council, okay. Just a refresher, when we did a little bit of a deep dive in this, keep in mind that in 2008, you had a referendum that occurred relative to the city charter, section 5A, wherein it stated that the quote salary of the mayor and the salaries of the council members as a body could not be, would be adjusted, and that is what was provided at that time. Subsequent to 2008, you had a resolution 2013 that provided for the option for the council members to elect to participate in the city's health benefits, the benefit programs that are offered by the city, health, dental, and it would be at the same cost as full-time employees. Again, that was done by resolution. That was not coined as compensation. It wasn't coined as salary. It just gave them the option to elect in. But keep in mind that the term that at that time the charter didn't provide for benefits. It was silent as to it. In 2014, you had a charter referendum which provided that the salaries and or benefits of could not be modified except by referendum. And so we're now, this has all come about to, if I understand the council, establish, if you want, by ordinance, we can prepare, I've actually got the ordinance prepared, but I want to go over it, that's what we want to do, that there would be an ordinance to pass that would amend by referendum section 5A of the city charter that would state that to the extent benefits, or to the extent that a council member, which would include the mayor and the council member, wanted to participate in the health benefits of the city, they could do so subject to the cost of that elected member of the council.
Full cost.
The full cost, yes, yes. And so that is what I have prepared for you with respect to this memo. You've got Resolution 2340. What I have talked individually with each of you all is my recommendation is just let Resolution 2340 sit right now, because if you were to repeal it or rescind it, and for some reason the referendum gets voted down, well, the only way to modify the compensation, i.e. the salary and or the benefits, is through a referendum. This resolution rescinding it really isn't going to do anything about that. It's got to be done by referendum. And so what would happen is you would ultimately potentially be faced with a situation of a rescinded resolution, but the charter didn't get modified. And so you could potentially have a scenario where a member of the council may say, I want to participate in benefits that were offered that had never been changed as of the last referendum. And so what I'm trying to get at is, if you can repeal it, my suggestion would be just wait. I got to think that referendum is going to pass, at which case then I would say, okay, well, the referendum passed. By operation of just controlling law, a charter would trump a resolution, but you could still then just paper it up and memorialize it, repeal the resolution at that time. I know that there are 3 seats available for election this November, but the referendum is going to control whether or not benefits are available to members of this body at the cost of the same cost as what's provided to employees now, or whether it's going to be the full cost of the elected council member. This resolution will not impact it one way or the other.
Questions, council?
Yes, sir. Even though the Tennessee Code annotated, ever how you pronounce that word, states that it's on the resolution 2340, first sentence.
Yep. Yeah. What that statute did, that was brought in and codified, stated that municipalities are authorized to provide benefits. It didn't say that they had to, it just authorized municipalities to allow council members to participate in benefits. It still left it to the municipalities to determine whether or not they're going to make it available. That is what TCA 8-27-601 states.
Okay, does it state in there that we have to do it by referendum?
It leaves it to the decision of the municipality, in which case here, it's by referendum.
Because it's in the
By
charter.
Charter.
Because it's in the charter.
Okay. One other question. Now, we just passed the minutes, correct? Okay. In the minutes, it says we were passed the removal of elected officials. Now, we've got 7 elected officials. That's on page 4. Okay, so we've got 7 elected officials. So right now, we're going to put it in there just for the council and the mayor on the referendum. And then not all of the elected officials, because it reads on page 1 of our agenda here, discussion of removal of elected official. And in 8C, over here, it just mentions the city council members and the mayor. And I'm assuming this bottom thing is repealing, and that's what you're wanting to put on the referendum. I know we discussed that, but I've sitting there, like to get a clearer version of it because of what our minutes were just passed, what is read up here on page 1 of the agenda, and then back here in the resolution 2340, it only mentions, if I'm not mistaken, the resolution only mentions council members. And then we're defining council members and mayor over here in the referendum.
Well,
So you explained to me the mayor is part of the council, but he's part of this body. He's actually the mayor, not the council members.
okay.
I just like to see either we put all elected officials on the referendum to either have the choice or not have the choice.
That's whatever the will of this body would like to do.
So,
I think the wording is there because the charter currently states that following such effective date, the salary and/or other benefits will be provided to the mayor, and the salaries and/or other benefits are provided to the council members as a body may be adjusted only by referendum. And that's in
Yeah.
5A that you were referring to.
5A states, it's the language used in 5A says mayor and the council members. Resolution 2340 says members of the council. It doesn't say council members. And so when Resolution 2340 said that members of the council, not just council members, at that time, that provided for members of the council, that being the mayor and the council members, the option to elect into participating into the benefit program of the city. Section 5A says mayor and the council members as a body. I don't know how you all want to do the actual referendum. If I understand it right, Councilman Cagle, I may not have it right, but I think it's, would you like to have put on the referendum that no elected officials may be eligible to participate in the, now let me ask this, are you saying that they would not have the option to participate at all, or that
well,
they would have the option to participate at the cost or at the expense of that elected official?
everything that's been put out for the citizens to vote on, we give them the right to vote whether they want to give the all elected officials the option, or they can vote no against giving all elected officials the option. So it's yes or no, and we may have to put the city charter on there to change it to match that referendum.
Yeah, well, essentially, if that passed as proposed by Councilmember Cagle here, we would have to amend Title III, Chapter 5, Section 3-504 as it pertains to the city court clerk compensation as well.
You would. I'm looking up for the city court clerk. Give me just a second.
Well, yeah, because while you're looking, so 5A is specifically qualifications and compensation for a legislative body. So that would be council only. Then if you go to 6B, that is court clerk section of the charter.
Yeah, which nothing in the charter addresses the compensation for the city court clerk. That's not in the charter. Presumably, that's why it was put in the portion, whatever that 3-504. At some point or another, that was put into the city code to address the position of the city court clerk's salary or compensation, because it was not addressed in the charter. So to the extent that you wanted a referendum on all elected officials, if they're going to participate or not participate, I would have to come up with language to incorporate in the charter relative to each elected official, which would include the city judge, city court clerk, and members of the council. But the salary for the city court clerk is not addressed in the charter, just the,
It's the judges,
um,
I believe the judges is.
It stated the shall not be less than 1,500 per month, nor increase or decrease during a single term of office. But
It states here that the council shall by ordinance provide for the compensation of the city judge and other employees of the court, except said compensation of the city judge shall not be for less than $1,500 per month, nor increase or decrease during a single term of office. So that's what it provides relative to the city judge.
so the charter gave the power to the council
Yeah,
for adjustments.
and that's
The
section
judge.
6-B1, excuse me.
Yeah, 6B1.
So since the compensation is set by the city council for the judge, if referendum passes as proposed by Councilmember Cagle, we would have to amend the charter as it pertains to the city court judge as well as the city court clerk.
That's correct.
3 sections.
The city judge is, well, he's up for 8 years, correct?
8 years.
Yeah, 8 years,
Correct.
okay.
All right, council, this is a discussion item, so is there any items to,
Well, I guess really the question I have is, what would you all like me, if anything, to bring to this body for purposes of this issue, whether it be a charter amendment relative to the salary and or benefits for the members of the council, which would include the mayor and the council members? Do you want me to bring a draft of an ordinance that would call for a referendum related to the salary of all elected officials? I'll do whatever you want, but just, that's what I'm really looking for in this section 8C here is, what do you all want me to bring? I can bring it at the next council meeting. To the extent that there's going to be a referendum, it would have to be, this body, you may recall, has to pass an ordinance, 2 readings, that would then establish for the next election, which would be in November, that I call for a referendum to modify the charter, and then I would have to identify specifically those sections that would get modified, the exact verbiage that would be, and then it would go on the ballot as to whether that particular portion of the charter would be modified in the exact language. So my question is, what would you all like me to do?
So if we have a referendum, right, that's going to modify multiple parts of the charter, the ballot itself has to show the original language of the charter for each one of those parts. So we're looking at a ballot that's going to start getting like this. Right? I personally would prefer to narrow the scope to the city council as to not make it too confusing for the average voter to know what's being changed right there. And that's just my personal preference. Keep the scope narrow to the council itself, and perhaps look at adding separate referendums for these other 2 positions. Just we don't want to do all in one, make it too confusing for the average voter to know what they're voting on. It could confuse them. I mean, it would confuse me. I mean, if I had to look in, I have to parse out original language out of 4 different sections and then change language to 4 different sections. I vote, on my lunch break. I don't have an hour to sit there and figure all this out. I think the scope should be narrow so that it's easier to understand for the average voter. Maybe break these up into different separate referendums so that it's not trying to do too much at once, and can be easily parsed out by the average voter. So as it pertains to this particular thing, I prefer to keep it narrow to the scope of the city council. I personally do not participate in this program. And I think I shared my thoughts last week that I think that the city council should not be compensated in discounts on their insurance policies. I mean, I think allowing us to buy in at full price is okay. It costs us money and not the taxpayers, which I'm perfectly fine with. The main difference between here and say the city court clerk is that I work a full-time job, I own my own business, and I work another part-time job. On top of being on the city council, I have many avenues to get my own insurance at a discounted rate from other employers, whereas the city court clerk is essentially a full-time position, and their ability to go out and get their insurance is restricted. in the sense that we would want this position to be ideally full-time in the city working here, which would, make it harder for them to go out and get insurance. So that I can kind of understand. But for a city council member this is clearly a part-time position, we have the opportunity to go out and get our own benefits at a discounted rate that does not cost the taxpayers any money. I'm fine with keeping it to the scope of the city council so that it's not too confusing to the people that are going to have to vote on this, including myself. And, we could look at adding separate referendums for city court clerk and judge if that is the will of the rest of the council. But that's just my personal thoughts on it. I'm not trying to influence anybody in one way or the other. I wanted to kind of get it out there before we start getting into an umbrella catch-all that becomes a little too confusing for the average person to kind of want to vote on in an informed way.
I agree with David, and I also like the fact that the court clerk is a full-time position. We're just part-time. So if you're in a full-time position, I think you should have the right to some benefits.
To the extent you wanted to modify the other two, I mean the judge and or the city court, you would have that option to do it before the next term would come up. That term for the judge is 2030. The term for the city court clerk would come up again in 2030. You would have the option to do a referendum in 2028 to address the judge and city court clerk if you wanted to at that time. So you've already approved it by ordinance under section 8B tonight for the city court clerk.
So on the city court clerk, let's say we did change the referendum, it still would not go into effect till that 4-year term was up, even if we voted for it in 2028. Is that not correct?
It would not impact the current term. Is that what you're asking?
The one elected in November,
Correct.
it wouldn't affect that next 4 years. Whatever we do in 2028, it would not go into effect till 30.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
But the one we're doing this year in November goes in effect December the 8th.
The one that you just approved, the one that just got approved on ordinance 1242 will be effective as of the term for the new elected city court clerk. Whatever that swearing in date is.
2026.
Whatever that date is,
26,
yeah.
whatever it is.
Well, I would personally like to keep it to the referendum just for city council and mayor, like we talked about last week. And I would like to take a little more time on the charter versus the judge, because kind of listening to it and reading it, it sounds like we vote her what we give her anyway. I know there's a minimum, but still, I don't think we need a referendum to say she can't do the other. I'd have to talk with you more about it, but right now for the election coming up, I'd like for it to stay like we talked about.
Yeah, I think the point that the judge's term isn't up till 2030 gives the council or the future council time to properly consider the ramifications of removing that power from the city council to set the judge's compensation and move it to the taxpayers. Gives us adequate time to weigh out all the costs and come up with a more, thought out way to handle it. I think keeping it narrow to the city council works just fine for me.
Me too.
You know my stance. I was against this in 2013, so I'm full in force of putting a referendum to not remove the eligibility, but you pay the full ride if you want it.
Couldn't agree more.
All right.
All right. So if it's,
Did I read in there somewhere where it says no dependents?
well,
It's just court clerk and it says no dependents.
right, the court clerk position was for the court clerk. It did not include dependents. That wasn't part of it. With respect to section 8C, the discussion here, what I will do, if I understand it, is I will bring to you all a draft ordinance that will, if approved, will put on the ballot in November a referendum to modify section 5A of the city charter to provide that to the extent benefits, a city council member, or member of the council, i.e. the mayor or the council members, that if they participate, it would be at the full cost of that elected council member or mayor.
Yes.
And then again,
Thumbs up.
if that passes, my recommendation would be then to repeal that.
Then you need to repeal
40.
because it wouldn't go into effect until
I mean,
30.
again, it effectively is nullified. I like to memorialize it. I think you do a good job to repeal it or rescind it, and that way it's in the archive should this issue. I mean, we don't really know what the situation arose in 2013. I wasn't here, but in 2013, I have an idea just by looking at the verbiage that was used that, you know, it was smart craftsmanship of the drafting of that resolution because it didn't use the word salary or compensation. But the charter provided salary, didn't mention anything about compensation benefit.
Then the following year it got locked in.
What's that? And then it gets
Following year
locked in the
got
following year. So, I mean, I can piece together.
Well, as a payroll expert, that doesn't pass my sniff test. It's compensation, no matter how you look at it.
So, but I'll have that ordinance to you. I'll do my best to have that to you at the next one. I mean, we've got time. I did, Ms. Diedrich and I did consult with the Election Commission. We have until August, like 3rd or 4th to get that to them. So we have plenty of time. So I'll bring that to you. We can discuss it. You all get to choose the language that would go in the amendment, and I want to make sure it's to the pleasing of each of the members here. So if I will talk to you all. If we don't have it on the next agenda, we got plenty of time. I just want to make sure I get the language you all would like.
And not to belabor this, but I'm going to just for another minute. So even if the citizens elect to support this and not provide benefits that the city pays, and so it's successful, we pay a full ride, that wouldn't go into effect immediately in that election cycle. It has to wait to the following election.
No, it's effective for that term. So,
Effective for that
That
term.
election.
yeah,
Okay,
because then that term really won't start until December.
okay,
I thought it was
Yeah.
December the 8th.
okay.
But yeah,
I thought we might need to still appeal the original one. All right.
So,
I still would repeal it. Yes.
so a question for clarification on the term, the use of the word term here. The term would only apply to the 3 that are elected in November and not
No, it's the entire body.
for the entire body?
Entire body.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
In other words, no one's grandfathered.
No grandfather. Everyone good? All right, we'll move to item 9A, resolution number 3793.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to approve a short-term vacation rental certificate application for the property located at 188 John Arnold Avenue, tax map number 169C-C-001.02 C037.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Howell.
Yes, Mayor and Council, per the short-term vacation rental ordinance 1073, when an application from a non-owner occupied dwelling unit is submitted to the city, the building department staff must notify property owners within a 300-foot radius of the proposed short-term vacation rental. If the city does receive any objections to the non-owner occupied short-term vacation rental, the application will be forwarded to the city council for consideration on appeal. The building department did receive one objection to the short-term vacation rental located at 188 John Arnold Avenue. Now, there are a number of items of importance that I should address the city council with. The proposed short-term vacation rental is located within the R3 district, which allows the use of short-term vacation rentals. 907 Blue Heights Drive has been approved as a short-term vacation rental use, being a non-owner occupied dwelling unit within the same development as 188 John Arnold. City staff received no objections to that application. The surrounding development pattern reflects a mix of residential and non-residential uses that provide context for evaluating the proposed short-term vacation rental use. To the north of the property, the land is zoned all O2 office district. To the east of the property is an existing church use, one residential structure, and an O2 office district. To the west of the property, there are additional properties zoned O2 office district, and to the south of the property, there is a mix of residential development consisting of R1 and R2 districts, which are 8 R1 single-family homes and 9 duplex, four of which are zoned R2, while the remaining 5 are zoned R1 and are legal non-conforming structures for its use. This pattern of mixed residential density and adjacent non-residential zoning district indicates that the area is non-exclusive single-family in character and already contains a variety of land uses. This subdivision, the Graston Avenue, has private covenants, conditions, and restrictions in place that provide the development with additional rules and regulations. Private CCRs provide additional layer of protection in combination with the city regulations. Thank you, Mayor.
Could you tell me what the ordinance was again?
Ordinance 1073.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3793.
Make a motion to deny.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Cagle and a second by Councilmember Witt to deny. Do you have any comments, discussion?
What is it zoned for right now? R2?
R3.
R3?
So under our current ordinance, it meets all requirements for short-term vacation rentals, except for there was an objection.
That is correct.
What was the nature of the objection? Are you at liberty?
I
to
believe it's in your
discuss?
guys' packet. And I think it commented on background checks and close proximity to elementary school.
The houses that are already built in that little zone there, is there already some people living in them?
Yes.
And how many more do they lack to build, do you know?
Well, I think there's 65 in total. They got 9 built right now or in construction now. 6 of them are completed.
So we would be making a decision with 60 more people yet to move in to decide if they want that in their neighborhood. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I noticed the complainant didn't complain about the church there, but the church is just, it's a whole lot closer than the school. So,
Any other comments? All right, to remind everyone, we have a motion to deny, so a vote yes would be a vote to deny. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
No.
Councilmember Cagle,
yes,
Councilmember Rozelle,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3793 denied. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3794.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee to approve a conditional use permit for a variance to the city sign ordinance number 1028 for an existing off-premise multi-tenant sign located at the corner of Ringgold Road and Max Smith Road.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Howell.
Yes, Mayor and Council. Kenny Custer with Star Community Builders is seeking City Council approval to utilize an existing off-premise sign support base situated at the corner of Ringgold Road, Max Smith Road. This location is identified as Lot 5 of the Southern End subdivision, which is a triangular in shape and has approximate area of 304 square feet, which is 0.007 acres to the recorded plat. The sign base was previously used as the East Ridge Retirement Center. Mr. Custer plans to use the new entrance sign for the Gateway development, which will feature a 2-sided LED message center mounted on top of an existing sign support base that will be wrapped in stone. The total height of the sign is 28 feet, with the base of the sign being 6 to 8 feet from grade. In June of 2022, Mr. Custer sought City Council approval to install the same LED message center on this sign support. The request was approved by City Council through Resolutions 3281, with conditions that the sign dimensions do not exceed those specified in the application, namely 21 feet by 7 feet, 0.87 feet in display size. The current request to use the existing sign support base along with the additional LED message centers mirrors the dimensions originally approved under Resolution 3281. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3794.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3794.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Ezell and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do you have any discussion?
yes, sir. You know, back in 2022, it was approved, so they've waited all this time and they never got the sign put in. So now they bring us a picture of the sign, and the way it's located there, it's going to be right in line with the traffic signaling, the red that they've got all over the sign when they turn on the lights. In my opinion, it's going to interfere with the traffic signals. I know the illumination is supposed to be regulated, but I just can't see the sign being allowed to be put in.
Could Mr. Custer come and maybe speak to Mr. Cagle's concerns?
Mayor, council, chief, thanks for having me. Promise not to take up too much of your time, Mr. Cagle. So the same sign, so it's better technology. Obviously, technology's changed in the last few years, but the overall location and everything is really not changed, or should not have any additional impact from what it was originally. The main concern, I believe, in the last meeting a few years back was being able to maintain an elevation for sight distance, and then now with the intersection being, finished and where it's at, it's clearly obvious how that sight distance would work out. Dimmers and everything have changed a lot, so obviously that's law. Anytime you put all those message readers and stuff, you got to make sure you have the automatic shut-offs and dimmers and things like that. So I understand the problem that we've all faced in the past with certain logos. So you got to make sure whatever logos you're using does not impact those same greens, reds, and yellows as a traffic light. It can't be signal. It can't signal like that, so it can't go through a rotation, nor can it flash. And you do see the graphic on there that shows like the game day, but the benefit of that sign and the way we're able to do it is we can actually go in with a computer and design and build out multi-tenant sign. So most of the time it'll be a multi-tenant sign for anybody that's within the development. And then the other times is you can, special events, game days, or even weather-related emergencies. If Chief Collins said, hey, we need evacuation route, no different than how they can do billboards and stuff like that, you can add special messaging on there. So there's definitely some benefits to it, but I do understand the concern about being in the intersection.
Councilman Cagle brought up the fact this was passed in 22. Could you speak to the timeline here? Why are we back here? And
yeah, so, honestly, we worked through the process. We were all working, diligently on the intersections and the roads and making sure everything, all the alignment and stuff was well. And then now that that's done, obviously the retirement center no longer exists. We made an additional acquisition across the street, which is the next largest purchase, another 6-7 acres down there on that track. So it's actually, this sign doesn't just serve one parcel, it serves 100 acres. So.
thank you.
And the plan right now is, the last I checked with my vendor, which was a few hours ago, I'm about 8 to 10 weeks, if I made the order tomorrow. And I could pull a permit tomorrow and make the order, and within 8 or 10 weeks, my boards would be delivered. They're custom, so that's the delay.
The timing of Mac Smith Road's completion did not help at all.
Well, it definitely helps now. Everything's laid out. You know where everything is. Nothing's changing, so.
Thank you, Mr. Custer.
Thank you.
Question I had is the base, the picture showing here, it looks like the base comes up singular on one side and then it spreads out. Is that the design, or is it going to be 6 to 8 feet from the ground all the way up?
So it'll just like it is there. So you'll have the base, like you'll have the empty space from the bottom. So it almost looks like a flag style.
Okay,
and
that gives you more view when you come
Yes.
up to the intersection. You can see to the right.
Yeah, I even
Okay.
noticed those bushes will come down. So we're going to plant stuff that's low level, that doesn't grow over just a couple feet.
Yeah, so it'll look like a flag. So it's narrow
Yes.
here and then it'll widen out.
Yep.
Okay.
The only difference is what we're trying to do, Mayor, is we actually, I don't know if it shows it well there, we're trying to get that pole to where we can wrap it all the way to the top. So you get that aesthetic look all the way to the top as well.
Okay.
I got one more question.
Okay.
So you said it's gonna be a multi-tenant
Yes.
sign? So you're gonna come from the bottom of that sign down toward the ground?
No, sir.
Oh, no.
You're gonna go above the,
So the way it looks right now, it just shows like there's a game tonight, turn this way. You can change that board just by the computer and build a multi-tenant sign. So the top could be a big box that said the gateway. Then it can be hatched out with all, and you can put different businesses in there, and by a flip of a switch, I can turn it to a game day sign.
so who actually owns this location that the sign is being put on?
We do. It's
Y'all
the parcel is the only thing that parcel was ever designed for was to hold a sign, an off-premise sign. That's it.
But it was
Always
a
been a sign
multi-use
location.
sign before.
Do what?
It was a multi-use sign before.
It was
believe
an
it was.
Yeah, you had
off-premise.
2 or 3 different,
Correct.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yes.
yeah, on the bottom, so.
Any other questions? See none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
No,
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
No,
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3794 approved.
Mayor and council, thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll move to item C, resolution number 3795.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, allowing the East Ridge Optimist Club to use Deckard Pond at Camp Jordan to hold a fishing rodeo and waive the fees for such usage.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Collins.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The East Ridge Optimist Club, which is a 501c3 organization, has used Dickert Pond every year for their annual fishing rodeo. The event will be scheduled this year on June 6th of 2026 from 7:30 a.m. to 2. Jamie, which is a representative from the Optimist Club, has filled out all the paperwork that we require that we established back in 2023 for this event to happen and for them to use our sound system and equipment, and we'll have an employee out there. So per our recommendation, we ask council to waive the fees for the fishing rodeo for the Optimist Club.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3795.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3795.
Second.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Ezell. Do you have any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Abstain, I'm on the chair to throw this event.
Councilmember Cagle,
yes,
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Why did you abstain?
Because I'm on the committee to throw this event.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3795 approved. We'll move to item D, resolution number 3796.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, allowing Chattanooga Optimist Center to use the East Ridge Community Center and waive the fees for such usage.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Collins.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The Chattanooga Autism Center, which is another 501c3 nonprofit, is requesting use of the community center from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on June 20th of 2026. Now, last year they didn't get to have the event since the community center had went under construction. So this year, David Buck with the Chattanooga Autism Center filled out all the paperwork, sent it in, and is asking, again, per our policy, if their fees can be waived with renting the community center, and they do understand, and if that means if we're open. But as of now, we're slated to open at least the second week of May as a soft launch and start moving everything back in. So we should not have any problems with hosting this event.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3796.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3796.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
yes,
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3796 approved. We'll move to resolution number 3797.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city to enter into a sponsorship agreement with Academy Sports Outdoors.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Collins.
Yes, Mayor and Council, the Parks and Rec Department is requesting council approval to enter into our contract with Academy Sports and Outdoors, which we've done for the past 10 years. The contract would go from March 1st of this year through February 28th of 2027. This agreement continues the annual sponsorship of East Ridge Parks and Rec. As part of the sponsorship, Academy Sports and Outdoors will provide $2,600 payable as outlined in the sponsorship rider, and they give us a $1,000 gift card, which we're able to purchase baseballs, softballs, and starter packs for the coaches.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3797.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3797.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Ezell and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3797 approved. We'll move to item F, resolution number 3798.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the mayor to enter into an amended sponsorship agreement with Chattanooga Coca-Cola Bottling Company for exclusive beverage pouring rights and related marketing and operational benefits for city facilities.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Skiles.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So this item is an addendum to the current Coca-Cola contract that we have now. There's no extension of years. It is for us to add a second scoreboard within the community center from Coke. So nothing changes on the original contract that we had passed. Oh my gosh, I think it was about 7 years ago when Adam Wilson was our director. And the new expiration date still continues to be December 31st of 2031 with the additional 13 years with the new expiration of, December 31st of 2031. I said that completely opposite. But it serves as the addendum, which will reinstate it, which is our existing agreement with the Parks and Rec Department, and it will again cover the athletic facility to clarify associated responsibilities for cost and promotional considerations. So that will take in return, get us our extra scoreboard and the one that they gave us last year also. And I did have Mr. Attorney Litchford go through the Coke contract and us make sure that everything was just related to our city buildings for the facility of the community center and the park.
Thank you, ma'am. Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3798.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3798.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
Just a question, who maintains, if the lights go out on it or whatever?
Coke.
Did Coke come out and fix it?
Yes, sir. They fix everything at the ball field. If anything goes out, they come fix it. Now, if it's like, for instance, let's say we decided to drive something over and cut a line, we're fixing
Right,
it.
I understand.
But anything else with the board, and anytime we've ever had anything at the community center, Coke comes out. We call Tommy with Coke, and he's out.
Okay.
Any other questions? Then roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3798 approved. We'll move to item G, resolution number 3799.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving a memorandum of understanding with Hamilton County Government for Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief Funding related to Camp Jordan Upgrade Project.
Thanks, sir. Mr. McAllister.
Yes, Mayor and Council. This resolution is brought to you from City Administration requesting the approval to enter into an MOU with Hamilton County Government related to the grant administration of the CDBG funding. It was provided from the federal government for disaster relief, and these funds, a portion of the funds were appropriated to the city from Hamilton County, approved by the Hamilton County Commission earlier this year for Camp Jordan upgrades phase 2 of the turf installation. So the NEPA phase will require an environmental study of Camp Jordan, and additionally will require the city to enter into an MOU with the county in order to draw down these funds for phase 2 of the turf project.
Thanks, sir. Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3799.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3799.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir. I was just wondering, I noticed in here that it says, proposed project titled Camp Jordan Upgrades will support infrastructure and facility improvements at Camp Jordan. So, facility improvements is the AstroTurf.
Correct.
Okay. So we're not required to do any infrastructure. I just wonder, by this being a disaster relief fund, I'm just wondering how they got it approved to use it for AstroTurf instead of, because I just don't see as AstroTurf being a Disaster Relief Fund.
Attorney Litchford, would you like to answer that?
Well, I mean, this was, the funding for it was gotten approved through efforts of the county. I was not a part of that, but what we understood was when they were able to get that relief, that Mayor Womp was able to get it for approval of turfing. It may include some degree of stormwater modifications, i.e. the infrastructure, but I do not know. I wasn't a part of the grant program or the discussions with the federal government on securing that grant.
So
We
if
may
they
have-
spend the 3.4 million on strictly AstroTurf, and we come back, find out part of it's supposed to be on infrastructure, who's gonna foot the bill to catch up the infrastructure?
Well, I think all that will be approved before the funding will be provided.
Correct. I will say that, and Mr. Sykes is here to answer some questions as well, but a part of the compliance for the funding requires the city and the county to have an environmental study done of the phase of the park that will have additional turf installed. On top of that, the federal government has strict regulations for procurement processes when it comes to selecting a vendor to complete any necessary or required work done for infrastructure improvements. And I believe Mr. Sykes is working with us on this project to make sure that we are compliant with their standards.
Mayor and council, I have talked to the county engineer and requested that before they finish out their design that she get with myself or with Ms. Skiles to make sure that we pick up some of the surface drainage in between the fields. So there will be some additional drainage along with their design. It's just a matter of which field they're going to do and when they get to that point. But they are aware that we do want to add some additional infrastructure to that while they're in the process of doing their design work.
Thanks, sir. Any other questions, council? See none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3799 approved. We'll move to item H, resolution number 3800.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving a professional services agreement with ASA Engineering and Consulting, Inc. for engineering and design services related to Phase 1 of the Springvale Park redevelopment project.
Thanks, sir. Mr. McAllister.
Yes, Mayor and Council. This memo outlines the professional service agreement that was drafted between City Administration and ASA Engineering to Springville Park redevelopment. The memo does say Phase 1, but after some final investigations on what we can do and what we can't do due to it being a floodplain and FEMA regulations, everything that's included in this professional services agreement is what will be completed at Springville Park at this time. If you, I believe included in your packet, there should be a copy of the proposal which outlines the scope of services to include a fee proposal as well. Additionally, there's some not to exceed amounts when it comes to the survey and a few other civil design areas. And then there's an exhibit to show you in the last page of the packet what work is being proposed at the park at this time, which would include a walking pad, resurfacing or resealing, of the existing parking area, upgraded signage, fencing, ADA compliant restroom facility, and the possibility of a small pavilion if within the budget.
Thanks, sir. Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3800.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3800.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir. Are we approving the whole 49,000 or are we approving it minus the pavilion?
You would approve the 30. I'm sorry. Let me get the amount. We would go ahead and ask that you approve the 49,000 to include the fees for architectural for the pavilion, and depending on the cost of the bid, we can put this as an alternate within the bid specs, and if it comes in over budget, then we will have to remove the odd alternate for the pavilion, which would
Two parking lots?
I'm sorry?
Are there 2 parking lots gonna be put in?
We will only be resealing the existing parking. We will not be installing a secondary parking area at this time.
So it's not included in these 49,000 design?
Correct.
Any other questions? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
No.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3800 approved. We'll move to item I. Do you want me to read that one, or you got it?
I can, so this is just for discussion and while it says selection of top city manager, there's not a resolution here prepared or anything. What my suggestion would be is you all have an open discussion, and similar to what we did with our two prior city managers was have this open discussion. You all can identify anything that you want relative to the traits or selections of these. And while we can't necessarily select, there's not the resolution on here, it can, you can give me directions to who I need to go and try and negotiate with and see if I can come back to you all with a negotiated contract that you all would approve by majority of this body.
So I'll just say a couple words and then I'll open it up for discussion. So just to remind everyone, we had Mr. Glenn Adams, Mr. Brian Coral, we had Mr. James Ty Ross, and we had Mr. Rick Rudamidkin. I think we had 4 very qualified candidates to review from, and we interviewed, and I believe that several of the department heads also met with each one of the candidates. So I appreciate their time and their effort to come and spend several days, not several, a couple days. Some may have stayed over a little bit, I believe, but appreciate their desire and wish to become our next city manager. Unfortunately, we can't select all 4, so we'll need to select one. So I'll open it up for discussions, and then we can talk about selection.
When we had our discussion here with the public here, and we asked the same questions to all 4, I was very impressed with 3 out of 4 that had good answers. They didn't have to look at notes. They didn't have to do nothing. They knew, being a city manager, what it took, and they had the answers. And I would like, hopefully we see, I hope everybody looks at that way instead of any other, that the person actually had the knowledge on their head to answer every question that you ask up here and didn't have to pull it up and look at all their notes to answer it off a piece of paper. I unfortunately am the guy that gets to sit here next to the 4, so I get to see what everybody does. That's why I brought that up. As our discussion goes, are we supposed to implement who we would like to see as city manager? Or are we gonna wait till everybody talks about it?
I mean, I think the identification of who it is that the will of this body wants me to go out and contact for purposes of discussion to see if I can secure terms of a city manager agreement that, similar to what we've had in the past, that I could bring to this body and say, here's what I understand you directed me to go out to this individual. This is what I have been able to negotiate, and we know that of the advertising, there was, representation in there of what was being available, and I can use that and to go and try to see whoever it is you all direct me to negotiate with.
With that being said, I personally liked Rick Ratumpkin. However you pronounce his last name is kind of hard, but I thought he was the most impressive. That's all I got.
Well, I too did like Rick, don't get me wrong, but I would like to select Brian Coral. I was very impressed with him. Maybe not so much up here. When you're sitting up here, it's a whole different ballgame, y'all. But in the interviews one-on-one on stuff, he came across great. So that would be my selection, because I think he did a great job up here, but it is a different ballgame up here when everybody's sitting there looking at you.
But mine that really impressed me was, well, really they all did, maybe except for one because of one answer he gave me on the 1-and-1, and I'm not going to disclose it, but the guy from that worked at Loudon, Tennessee, he'd been up there 8 years, longevity. I kind of like that because we've kind of got a bad reputation of 2 years, maybe 3 years, but, you know, evidently the gentleman from Loudon had been up there 8 years, and if anybody remembers, I only asked one question, okay? And this young man, he answered that question, which I think everybody on the body knew what I was looking for, okay? The man didn't have to answer it to the public. If any of y'all were here, y'all knew what the answer was. And because it's hard to judge a man on one mistake when he was on his own time, and he openly and honestly told us, my question was, is he going to embarrass us if we was to offer him the job? That was the embarrassment that he brought back that we all knew about. So personally, you know, I've kind of been there myself years and years and years ago. So the man didn't have to, and his name's Mr. Cox, if I'm not mistaken, Tyler Cox.
Ty Ross.
Yeah, Ross, okay. But he did impress me, and that would be my choice today.
So I think all of them hit a home run in the 1-on-1. Honestly, they all did great. To speak to Councilmember Cagle's opinion of Mr. Ty Ross, I think he handled that situation with grace. I don't think we should allow one situation to define a man for the rest of his life, especially when he's willing to own it. He had great support from his loving wife and his mother, who are both here. Both of his sons, who are outstanding citizens in their own right, encouraged him to get back out there and get a job, and he showed great passion for public service, which honestly is really all you could ask for anybody. Mr. Glenn Adams has been an agent of change in all of his jobs. I think he did a fantastic job in his time in Santa Fe, and all of the citizenry down there and the people that you talk to, they all loved him. Mr. Rue Metkin, in my 1-on-1 was very impressive. He reeked of city manager. Like talking to Scott, it was kind of annoying, but I mean, he is excellent, and I think he did well in the public interview as well. And then Mr. Coral, he did okay in his 1-on-1. I felt like he did better in the public interview. I know that he had some prepared answers, but he sourced information that was available to all candidates. He came in prepared with that information when the other ones did not. And he offered up answers. He was asked at least one question that was not asked previously in another one. I think he gave a sufficient answer. But for me, it boils down to culture fit. He sent personalized emails to members of the city staff, which was a nice touch. And that's not to say that the other candidates didn't. I was not aware if they did, but many of the candidates did reach out to the city council members through email. But Mr. Coral showed that he was willing to go that extra step for the citizens, and that really made a difference for me. He took the time to speak to Mr. Marty Von Schaff, who had given comments and questions at our previous interview, and brought him dog treats because he knew that he had dogs. He went and spoke to Gail out there in the audience, and Gail is one of my favorite audience members, as always. And he knew who these people were, and made it a point to go to them. And I think, to me, that speaks volumes of character. And I think that his last job, he worked 7-8 years. Previous job, 7-8 years. And for me, I think longevity in the position of city manager is paramount to this position. We had Mr. Miller for almost 4 years, and Mr. Dorsey at a time, several years before that, and then Mr. Miller before that. That stabilization of city manager position is not what the city of East Ridge is used to. We've had umpteen city managers in a very short period of time between 2000 and 2016, and I think since that position became more stable, the city has progressed further than it has in almost 100 years. I think the city staff runs like a machine. I think all the candidates were impressed about how they were able to get shuffled around by rooms, lunch breaks put in, they got FaceTime with everybody, they were given personal tours, and the city runs well. So I think my choice is Mr. Coral, specifically because he was willing to go the extra mile for our citizens, and I think that made a difference.
Thank you, sir. All right, so I'm going down alphabetically. Again, I said all four, I believe, would make a fine city manager, but we're picking the city manager for East Ridge. And I don't take that lightly, and we want to make sure that it's the best fit. Mr. Adams, I think he was very, very pleasant, a lot of experience. Thanked him multiple times for his service to our country and all that he had done. Mr. Coral, he had, to Vice Mayor's statement, he had some stability there. He's been 2 places in the last 13 years. He seemed to fit well, spoke well. I understand the notes. Trust me, I have notes that I carry with me all the time, because it is, when you put in the spotlight, it does change things. Mr. Ross, yes, he owned it. We've all made mistakes. Unfortunately, his was a little more visible and more publicized, and he owned it. He addressed it. He learned from it. He built additional things, helping the community with outreaches and stuff from that. So I commend him for that. Mr. Rudimitkin, very, very well spoken, very articulate. He done very well. So when I go back through the 4, and I talk with, and you remember I did this the previous time, I spoke with every department head. Personally spoke to every department head, and even got comments from citizens that reached out to me. And I think that the 2 that kind of shined the most was Mr. Coral and Mr. Rudimitkin. And both were very, very close, but I think that most of the department heads and others felt that Coral had just a better personality interacting with them, and nothing against Mr. Rudimitkin. I think he'd be excellent. But I'm leaning toward as well as Mr. Coral. So that is my selection for
Well, I mean, just based off of the comments that I had with many of the city staff, I mean, it was heavily weighted for Mr. Coral. Rudimitkin did have some support. The citizens I talked to, they were all mostly in favor of Mr. Coral. I mean, and that was really kind of what swayed my opinion there.
Your statements are accurate. It was largely Mr. Coral.
It's kind of overwhelming. So if we're through the discussion part, I would like to make a motion that the city attorney enter into a contract negotiation and make a formal offer for the city manager position for Brian Coral.
And I would like to second that.
All right, that's going to be our, go with that, Mr. Litchford, just go ahead and make the motion to memorialize that. All right, so we got a motion by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt for the directing the city manager, the city attorney to reach out to Mr. Coral and start negotiations. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. All right, the salary package run from 145 to 160. Now, what kind of benefit package are we going to all agree on? Are we gonna let them dictate to us what they want? I know we usually give a car plus some on their pension.
So,
Would it help if I bring up just kind of what we had?
Yes,
Just a refresher. Let me pull that. Give me just a second, and let me go into the files here. It'll take a second here. Okay. So we had a couple. We had for Mr. Dorsey, his was a 2019. And in 2019, his package included he started at 115. I think he ultimately finished, I can't remember what he finished. Maybe around do we remember?
15.
I'm sorry. Ms. Qualls, did Mr. Dorsey finish around 128, 130, something like that?
Honestly, I am not sure.
Yeah, okay.
I would have to go back and look at the records.
But he was given a retirement package. It was equal to 10% of his annual base salary to be divided 5% to the TCRS and the remaining to the International City Manager Association. There was a 4-month severance package. There was automobile package of a monthly allowance for $450, and he got to participate of course, in the healthcare benefits as well. Got professional development. With Mr. Miller, I have a copy of his second one. His was a compensation that started at 127. He got this started in 2023. He got a automobile stipend, health insurance. He was on Medicare, so the city covered his Medicare supplement. He got professional development. He got 3 weeks of paid sick leave and professional development and contributions to his retirement as well. So similar, if it helps, I asked and got a copy of the agreement for Collegedale. That was the only, I tried to get others. That was the one that the attorney responded to me. That was, and it's also the one most recent in time. This one was as of last year in November. That had a starting salary of $153,000, a $15,000 relocation. This gentleman received a vehicle for his transportation, healthcare benefits, professional development, retirement, and I'm looking closer here to see if but that's, so you're kind of all in the same, the packages are kind of all the topics being, salary, benefits.
One thing that struck my mind there, Ms. Quarles, aren't there a max on the amount of pension we can pay into their pension?
If they're in the TCRS, we pay 5%. If they are in the International City Managers, I believe it is 10%. But the max we pay is 5% on
5%
TCRS.
of all. So if they got 3 pensions, we'll be paying 5% into.
If he's in TCRS, then we would do 5%. That's the most we can do. They pay their 5%, we pay our 5%.
Right, if they're not in the TCRS, are they gonna be eligible to join the TCRS?
Yes.
They will be. Okay, so that'll be the 5% that we'll have to pay. And then if they're in the ICMO or whatever that was, then 5% there.
That would depend on negotiation. I believe with Mr. Dorsey, we paid 10%. I believe with Mr. Hyatt, we probably paid 10% for the International City Managers Association.
But neither one of those were with the TCRS.
They were.
Mr. Hyatt was?
Mr. Dorsey was.
Yeah, Mr. Dorsey was, yes.
Any other discussion? I see none. All right, so we have a motion and we have a second for, Mr. Brian Coral.
No, just a contract negotiation that you can bring back to us that we can approve. Okay. That to me is an acceptable route. Okay.
Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
No.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. All right, the next item is discussion of the tentative agenda for March 2026. I guess under old business says none, but would we have the, I guess it'd be new business you bringing in for the negotiations with the city
Yeah,
manager?
we'll need to add that as another resolution.
All right. All right, so we'll just go down the ones that are already listed. So the first item is unnumbered resolution, appointment of board zoning appeals by Mayor Williams. I believe we've got at least one applicant that is filed, so I'll be making that appointment. Any questions?
Is
Council?
there a total number of years that you can stay on a board?
For the library, well, total number, there's not a cap. The library board has a term limit.
I was reading the resume of this gentleman. He said he's been on this board 37 years.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was my question. I was gonna ask Mr. Howe how long the Board of Zoning Appeals had been in operation here, because I looked it up.
He says he's been on it for 37 years.
And then the dates I find that they go back to 2003. That there might have been a case then, there might have been a case in 2006. So,
So maybe we
Well-
had a board and they just didn't have any cases?
Well, it says BOA, Board of
that's about
Adjustment,
37 years.
and it says enjoyed working with the staff and members. So I don't know, is that, I'm looking at the applicant's comments there underneath K.
Okay, yeah.
Says he-
I know he served for the city of Chattanooga, Hamilton County for many years in the public works, and yeah, so we can clarify that, but I'm not sure that he had been on the zoning appeals board for 37 years.
That was a long time.
So we can definitely confirm that, but
The other question is, are we taking applications for this?
Yes.
Board?
yeah, it's posted.
I missed it. How long do they have to?
I can answer that if you like.
Yeah.
So the advertisement already closed. We posted it in accordance with our process that we normally follow for 2 weeks. It closed on March 6th or 9th, whichever one was a Friday. I apologize. So that would be the 6th. So it closed last Friday, and that was the only applicant.
Okay.
Mr. Leach was the only applicant.
All right, any other questions? All right, the next is the unnumbered resolution, janitorial services for venue 1921 at East Ridge. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Deland.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, so I am approaching today to let you know that we put out an RFQ for janitorial services, for third-party support for overnight cleans at the venue when we're having back-to-back events. We had 4 folks that were super qualified that came in: Jana King, Impact Facility Solutions, MCS Services, and Dyer Cleaning Service. Over the next course of the weeks until our next meeting, we're going to be interviewing with them, and then I will bring you all the best candidate.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions? I see none. So the next item that we'll need to put on here is the resolution, an unnumbered resolution for
To approve a contract.
approve a contract.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, council? Any other items of business we need to consider for the tentative agenda? see, I hear none. So, thanks everyone for attending tonight, and this meeting is adjourned.